Report released last month shows rent prices could be stabilizing. Rent researcher John Leckie is here to break it all down for us. John, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so first, let's talk about what we're seeing right now as far as these prices. What's happening?
On the national level, rents were up about 2.37% year over year in January, and that was the smallest yearly change we've seen in about 20 months. It was the fifth consecutive month of single-digit increases. And yearly growth had sustained double-digit increases for about 11 months, from about October 2021 to September 2022. But it's significant that the rate has really slowed. On a monthly basis, rents are actually down. Rents were down almost 2% from December to January. So this is all good news that rents are finally starting to stabilize.
And could this be an indicator of where we're headed in the future?
Yeah, I think particularly in the case of Detroit, right? The story of Detroit is pretty similar. They've had, the Detroit Metro sort of had a recent peak in May of 2022. It's down about 5% since then. On a yearly basis, it's only up 1%, and it's actually down about 0.5% month over month. And it's sort of been hovering around $1,600 since July. So that's good news, I think, in terms that rent prices are starting to stabilize in Detroit. But I also think one thing that goes along with the stabilization is getting back to seasonal trends that we saw before the pandemic.
All right, there's going to be a lot of people trying to take advantage of this. If someone's planning to make a move, when's the best time?
I mean, when to move? I think if money is sort of the brass tacks here, I think you want to move somewhere in between like November and maybe the beginning of March. That's when rent prices are going to be the lowest. Now, if you can't do that, I mean, there's reasons why people don't do that. So it's reasonable to not do that. The other thing is, don't be afraid to negotiate. The other important caveat, I think, in terms of rent prices, particularly in Detroit or Michigan, is that while they are starting to level off, when you take a sort of a longer term view, you see kind of just how high rents have risen. Over the last 2 years, so from 21 to 23, Michigan is still up 11%. And if you go back to even before the pandemic, I'm sorry, Detroit is up 11%. If you go back before the pandemic, Detroit is up almost 30%. And the same holds for Michigan. Michigan's up about 14, almost 15% over 2 years, and almost 25% over 3 years. And that's more growth than we would normally see. So prices continue to be elevated. It's great news that they are moderating, but people are going to be paying more than they would have otherwise had we not gone through this period of extreme growth that we went through the last 2 years.
All right, John, again, so glad to have you, and definitely hoping this can help a lot of our viewers.
I hope so. All right, thanks for having me.
If you need to go over this information again, you'll find it posted on our website, cbsdetroit.com.